Hi everybody, Paul here from Hill Country Rings. Today we're going to be making a half inlay ring, which has got one shoulder on it, but then it'll be like overlay, but with that one shoulder of the metal sticking up. So look kind of like an inlay ring, kind of like an overlay ring. But we're going to do it out of Texas Spalted Pecan, which is real pretty whenever it's turned. So let's go in the shop. So this is Texas Spalted Pecan, and I got a little piece right here that's been stabilized. And here is that ring core that I'm going to use. And as you can see, it looks like a kind of an inlay on this side, where the metal sticks up on the side edge, but then it goes down and it doesn't come up on the other side. So it's going to be like a half inlay, half overlay ring. So I think it's really going to be pretty. So we're going to go ahead and turn this piece of pecan down flat, and then we're going to mount him to this ring core. So let's get started on that. First thing to do is take this guy to the lathe and smooth him off, and then we'll bore him out. Alright, let's turn him flat. Alright, this ring core, I measured him and he's 23.74 millimeters in diameter. So I got a 24 millimeter Forstner bit chucked up. I'm going to go ahead and bore him out. So let's do that. Alright, I turned him down just a little bit more right here to get him a little flatter. But got him where he fits really good. So let's go ahead and bond him in there. And I did want to show you, I got a little new toy here. Got a little wall mount for my GoPro, so I can kind of move it up and down and get it closer and hopefully get a better view for you when I'm turning. So that's kind of cool. Alright, let's go ahead and clean up this core with denatured alcohol. And just to get any of the, you know, some of the any wood fibers or dust off of it, just make it sure it's really nice and dust free. And we do that, and I actually scratch the core first with a razor knife to kind of, so it gives it a good bonding surface. And since this is stainless steel, I think we can do that too on this guy. Let's see, yeah, I can give him some good scratches on the inside of the core, just to give him a good bonding surface, so he will, that epoxy will have something good to grab hold of. And I don't know if I can prove if that really does much, but it doesn't hurt, and it makes me feel a little more confident in the bonds of the two-part epoxy. But this is the best two-part epoxy you can get, so it's not really skimping on that. But we do want to go ahead and just give them a good surface to bond to. So we'll go ahead and do that. Just go all the way around a couple times on the bias, and then going around it. Alright, that should do it. Alright, now we clean him off too, because there could be some, you know, machining oil or something like that from the process of making the ring core. That we want to make sure we get that off of there. And it looks like it's, might have something on there. Might have had something on there. But we got it off now. Now it's good and clean, nice and clean. Okay, so now let's go ahead and mix up our two-part epoxy. And we'll start out with the epoxy. And I got a brand new tube of the G-Flex. This is a 24-hour epoxy. So, gotta let it bond overnight. And but it is a lot stronger than any kind of 5-minute epoxy out there, by far. So we go ahead and use got a toothpick here, and just mix it all up. Mix up our epoxy. Very good mixed. A piece of tin foil, so we can throw that away later. You know, that way just makes it less messy, a little easier clean up. That's for sure. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put the epoxy on the inside of the ring core here. I mean, I'm sorry, on the wood. And what that does, we'll go ahead and give it a little extra time so that it will soak into that wood. So we get that epoxy in there. Now I'm going to put some along this top edge here, so that where that ring, that shoulder will bond. I don't need to do it on the other side, because this basically, it's just a half inlay. And this is kind of new, so it's kind of an experiment. See how this comes out. Alright, that's pretty good. Now this guy, we're going to go ahead and put some on him all the way around the ring core and on the inside of that shoulder, so that we make sure that he's got some right up there on that shoulder, so that he will be bonded in really good. We put the epoxy on both sides, on the core and on the wood, because that way we get a good wet bond. We don't get any dry spots or air pockets, anything like that, which would be bad. So make sure we got everything good and wet. And then we'll put them together. Alright, that should be good. So we go ahead and bond him in, put him in that, into that wood all the way, give him a little bit of a spin, and then what that does is just kind of make sure that we got a good seal, good bond. Alright, get rid of a little bit of the extra that kind of seeped out on the inside. Alright, now what we just got to do is let this sit overnight, and then we'll come back and we'll put them back on the lathe. So let's go ahead and just let him cure overnight. It's the next day, and this two-part epoxy is nice and cured. So we are going to cut this guy on the bandsaw a little closer to the wood, not too close because we want to leave some for turning. And then put him on the lathe and turn him to shape. And then we'll put him on the little rotisserie and we'll put finish on him. So I think it's going to finish up pretty nice. Let's go ahead and start on that. Well, before we put him on the lathe to turn him, we do need to do some sanding on the inside. This wood is a little bit extends past the metal, so what we'll do is we'll sand him like that until the wood is flush with the metal. So, funnest part of the video, hand sanding. Alright, we sanded him down with 80 grit to get him down level with the metal, and then 220 to get him a little smooth. And now we can put him on the lathe. And that is how easy it is to mount the ring on this mandrel, unimandrel. Now it's perfectly balanced. So let's go ahead and shape him up. Now we've got him on just a regular expanding mandrel, And we're going to do a little sanding. We'll do it with the 80 grit and then some 220. So we'll shape them, do the final shaping with that 280 grit, and then smooth them out with that 220. And what we're trying to do is get this just a little bit under that shoulder so that we'll get a good finish. Alright, now take him out and we're going to put some finish on him. We got the ring back on the mandrel, the expanding mandrel, and we are going to hit it with a 1000 grit sandpaper just really quick, just a real quick sanding just to take off any rough spots. It's pretty smooth, but let's just go ahead and just do that just for good measure. And then we're going to hit him with the Dr. Kirk's scratch free, and then the 123, the progressive polishing compound. So here we go. at that. Well, we're all done, and here's that piece of spalted Texas pecan, and here's the ring that I made. And this is that, it's where it's half inlay. It's an inlay on one side, I guess you'd call it. It came out really, really nice. It's really pretty. And this pecan is just, when it's finished and it's got that, you can see all the texture of the wood, it is just gorgeous. So if you would like a ring made from spalted Texas pecan, from hill country mesquite, from the stock of an M1 Garand, from battleship wood, from Major League Baseball bats, I do all custom rings, and I'd love to make one for you. So check out hillcountryrings.com. If you'd like to drop a comment on what you'd like to see me make a ring from, please do. I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, thanks everybody.